Welcome to yet another episode of Chai in the Bay, where we unpack modern life.
I'm Deepa, here with my long-term besties and co-hosts, Manisha and Shipra.
So settle in for a cozy conversation while the chai warms your hands and heart. So ladies, today I want to jump right in.
Okay.
So we recently talked about fitness, and I feel that fitness or well-being is more than just workout. It's also about nutrition, it's also about mental health. So I thought maybe we can come and talk about nutrition today.
Yes,
Sounds
let's
good.
do it.
So let's talk about it. How many times have you had a good workout and then you felt like, now today I can reward myself with that, I don't know, with that dessert, that cake.
The breakfast we went after our hikes count.
Oh yes, that time, exactly.
That's the only
a very
motivation.
hearty breakfast after hiking, and then you also end up feeling guilty after that, right? Like, so that's the cycle.
No, I work out so I can eat guilt-free.
You feel free, okay. Yeah, so let's talk about this today and see, what your nutrition goals, etc., have been like.
Absolutely. But before we jump in, we want to invite all of you to like and subscribe and keep supporting us. All right, you talked about goals, and I'm curious, what are both of your nutrition goals?
Nutrition goals, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if I look at nutrition as my goal, but I do have fitness goals, but then I look at, okay, what kind of nutrition do I need to support that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, it has changed, or, as we age and as our body needs are different, has changed. The earlier me, I used to starve a lot, so definitely didn't think about in the way of, hey, what do I need, what my body needs, but rather, how can I starve myself? How can I reduce? But now I think that has changed, right? So now high protein intake is important. Okay, how do I get my protein? And balancing the macros, like, okay, you don't want to get protein along with high carbs, so how do I get like that balance while reducing the fat or keeping it in check, I guess. So that is my goal. Like, so I do okay, mine is a bit stricter. I do aim for like 1,300 calories a day with at least 80 grams of protein, sort of. So
So you are a calorie counter. You keep track of your calories.
Yeah, more than calorie, it's like the grams, the macro.
Yeah.
Tracking the macro, like how many grams of protein did I have? So
Wow.
it is similar to calorie count, but it's not exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You also, it seems like you also
I think
keep your calorie goals.
I started, I've done calorie counting off and on, but I think now I've figured out what works and what are, some of the things that will help me reach those goals. When I'm definitely on that, I need to lose a certain amount of weight, then I start with a 2 weeks of very low calorie diet, but hitting the protein numbers. But, on an everyday, like a routine maintainability basis, it's being more mindful. Like, I'm not counting calories, but being more mindful of, I know this, if I eat this is like lean protein versus something that will have a high fat content. So which one would I pick? So I think just being more conscious of what I'm putting in my body. I think my goals, if I talk about, are more catered towards my long-term I am susceptible to having diabetes in the future. So I'm just, what can I do now to delay that as much as possible? So reduce the blood sugar spikes, and what are the foods I need to eat for doing that. Brain health. Being aware of these things is something that, I look at.
Yeah, interesting.
What about you?
So for me, there are multiple aspects when it comes to the nutrition or the food part, okay? Obviously, in the moment, or right now, in present, I am, how should I say this? So try to eat healthy, as in whatever that definition of healthy is, which itself is very subjective, by the way. So I can definitely double click more on that and avoid junk. So I have consciously weaned myself off a lot of junk food, still indulge once in a while. So it's a combination of one, obviously eating healthy, trying to put good stuff in your body. But there is the temptation, there is the indulgence part of it as well. So I don't deprive myself fully, completely. I also allow myself flexibility to indulge. But most importantly to me, everything, like I feel like all decisions I make with regards to whether it's workout, whether it's related to food, it's about sustenance and long-term sustenance. Right. So I think you were mentioning in one of the episodes that, we are likely going to live very long. Touch wood. But I think if we are going to live long, let's live healthy as well. Exactly. That long life has to be healthy. So that means you eat a lot of things from also the point of view of that long-term goal of living healthy, living very actively, in your life as well. So it's both about fueling the fitness, the look and feel aspect of it, but also the activity, the energy, right? Yeah. We work very hard, we do a lot of things in our lives. So how do I fuel my body so that I can do my best on everything, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that as well. Like, I'm also like, I don't want to deprive myself of many things. I do get sweet tooth, sometimes savory tooth. I don't know, it changes.
Changes on the
days, yeah, depending on where I am in the cycle. So I do feel like a balanced food habit where I'm not completely depriving, but portion controlled really helps. It helps to sustain that diet plan. Otherwise, 100%. You are like, if you really starve yourself of everything, 1 week later you're just binging on everything.
So let me ask you an honest question. Like, do you ever find yourself in a situation where you are like, this is my reward? Like some, I don't know, like a cake or pastry or something, and that I'm not going to touch it, I'm going to earn it, and then I'm going to get to that reward. Like, does it ever happen like that? Or do you just like indulge in the moment, it's right there in front of you and I'm just going to eat it?
That's I think again, that depends on the day. Like, I'll tell you, for my birthday, I want to earn my cake. Yeah. So I try and get my workout in on the day of the birthday first, so then I can eat my cake guilt-free. Yeah. So there's definitely that, but in terms of if it's there, can I eat it? It depends on the day.
How much self-control?
It depends on the day. I think the self-control is completely dependent on my mood, on what other stressors are contributing to it, and because sometimes to get over,
give yourself a number.
Give myself a number.
Out of 100%, how do you rate yourself when it comes to self-control?
I would say 60 to 70%.
Oh, yeah, that good. What about you?
Oh, that's hard to say. I mean, these days, like, let's take last 3 years, I've been very good. I would say my control level is 80%, 82 upwards that. But in the past, it was not there, because sometimes I found food emotional comfort in food as well. Yes. Like, if too many things are going, I'm frustrated and whatnot, I'm also starving, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna not do this.
You go maybe on the other side, you lose control.
I won't binge, but I would break my routine per se. You know what I mean?
100%.
So, but that has reduced now. I don't do that. But I, like, let's say I do fast, intermittent fasting, but then at the end of the fast window, I'm guilt-free, right? I stick to my routine. Good. Now I'm going to enjoy my breakfast. How about you? What's your number?
So for me, I would give myself just 50% actually. Okay. So I think I know that over the last few years, I have developed a sweet tooth. I was never a sweet eating person, but now that has to be a mandatory part of my diet. Like, no meal completes unless I've had some bit of sweet something at the end of it. So I can call it like I feel like this is still a lot of sweet that I'm eating, and like you, like also have diabetes in my family, so I have to be careful about it. But it's a temptation. I've not been able to give up.
But you know what they
there's a
say?
trick.
No, they say listen to your body, right?
Yeah.
I always find that when we get craving, is it like the body is deprived?
You're so good. You're so good. You're like you have an exception to every rule, and then you have a way of feeling good about it
No,
too.
so if you look at the nutrition advice, right, it is you start your meal, like when you're doing a proper meal, you start with like the vegetables and the green leafy part of your meal, and then you go to the protein of it, then the carbs, and you end it with the sweet or whatever.
You guys are
want.
really my besties.
So you can have that, and it's okay, like your body, as long as you're not like really fighting sugar.
Yeah, because
you're not
I
going
think it's hard
excess.
for somebody like me,
be
because
okay.
I'm a foodie.
I
I'm a
know.
foodie. I love
I know.
food,
I think
and
all
I have
three of
to
us
try.
are.
All three of us are foodie, but I feel like maybe you guys are doing a much better job of self-control than I am.
But it has come with a lot of learning over it. It's not like I'm a born this thing also, right? Like so for sweet, I also get sweet tooth, right? I have a tip for you. Two things that help. One is fat, another is fiber. So if you find yourself eating sweet, but you make sure it is like a reasonable amount of fat, and also some fiber content you are eating along with it, it raises the blood sugar slowly in your stream. So you're not going to have a spike, right? That's one. And second, like Manisha said, I combine with my meal, so you don't want to keep on increasing spikes. Like avoid in between snacking, but rather like
definitely.
Those are the two things I try.
So I want to take us back a little bit. You've been talking a lot about how we've evolved, right? Like our relationship with food has evolved. When does food relationship evolve for both of you throughout your lives?
So in general, I think my family also, like my mom will say, like we already eat healthy. I don't know if it is because of the fact that we are vegetarians and there's like a lot of Ayurveda related practices in my family's eating habits, etc. In general, like both my mom and dad, they always feel that whatever we are eating is healthy food. So I never questioned what I'm eating is healthy or not healthy, and thankfully I did not have any big issues at all ever, health-wise also, that made me question what habits were instilled in me. So it continued for a long time. Of last couple of years, I have gotten a little bit more conscious, maybe just managing the aging part of it, as we are on the other side of the 40s now. Specifically, and the awareness, and there's so much talk in media about stuff as well, and so that is instigating being more conscious about the protein and the calcium aspects of it.
So it's more recent.
It's more recent, the last couple of years.
How about you?
Yeah, it has really changed over the period of years, and I can point out, but one thing I want to say is those changes are not because of my own realization. Some are. Some are organic. For example, I'm also a vegetarian like you, Shipra, and growing up, there was a lot of carb in the food, like rice, things like that. Even the protein came along with a lot of carb, like dal, right? That is also, I find, sometimes challenging. Being a vegetarian, you have to really look to your protein sources and balance it with your food, right? And then when I had my kid, and then you really pay attention to nutrition. Now I have to eat properly. So that was one other moment, right? And then when you're super busy with work, juggling small kids and job, it was like whatever I can get. Salad most of the lunches, you know what I mean? And then when you come home, it's whatever the fast, and then you have to balance the leftovers. Right. That is one thing I've changed now also, because I felt like sometimes did I treat myself as a trash can, not to waste food?
Exactly. We do it a lot.
Right? So that changed. A lot. And in the last 8 years, I've been more paying attention to this, but I think I've got a hang of it only in the last 3 years, like exactly what my body responds to, or what is more agreeable for my fitness goals, and what is the food that that I should be having. I think I have like a handle of it only in the last 3 years, I would say.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But like 8 years to have that awareness, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, so tell us about your realizations and what triggered those realizations.
I think my triggers were like, silly ones, right? Like as a kid, I was an extremely picky eater. Like literally, I would only eat 3 things, and my mom would always have to fuss about what I would eat. And then I went to college, and I was not getting food. Like for 6 months, my first 6 months in college, I was only eating like very watery dal with rice and green chili. So I obviously lost a lot of weight, and then I came back home and I said, "Mom, I want ghee." I think that was an interesting first sort of realization of how much I love eating. And then that sort of took me on a journey of I want to taste everything, I want to eat everything, and I loved food.
So your food palate opened up.
Yeah, it opened up really. And then I think it shifted more in my adult life, like because during my first pregnancy, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, which is diabetes only during the period of pregnancy. I now was sent to a training. Like, so if you get diagnosed, that this is your first time, you have to attend this mandatory training on nutrition, where they sit and teach you what has sugar, what has carbs, what are you tracking, what can you eat, how frequently you have to eat. You know, it's a whole intensive, like half a day training at that time, right? Now it may have changed. But that was when I realized all of the things I was eating was all wrong. Now I need to pay attention to, look at the labels. What does it say? What does it mean? And what implications it has? So I think that is what opened up my mind to it a little bit. And then I just, wanted to continue that. I didn't want to lose it. So I kept being conscious, but not restricting myself, right? Like not having to, oh my God, I'm not going to eat anything because it doesn't fit that mold. But now I think over the years, it's more, what can I maintain? Like,
shall we talk about diets or now?
Yes.
Let's talk about diets here. What is, there are a lot of different diet categories these days. There's the vegan diet, keto diet,
Yes.
there's protein obsession.
There's intermittent fasting.
Intermittent
You're doing
fasting.
that.
So that's what you do, Deepa. You are on intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I've been doing that for, I don't know for how long, so many years now. The way it works is you fast for a window of time, like let's say 16 hours, then your eating window is 8 hours in a day. So for example, if I start, if my dinner was at 6 p.m. today, I would eat the next morning 10 a.m., the first breakfast or whatever. And the window doesn't have to stay the same. It can change. They do. That is another learning I've had. I used to be like, no matter what, okay, 16 hours, I'll be waiting for it. It's hard. It does put a stress some days, but I later realized, depending on the cycle of your, which phase, luteal phase, whatnot, then probably you should eat in 12 hours. So anyway, but it is still fasting. I am unable to do the daytime fasting. I'm not good at that.
So how do you decide though? Like, what is this fasting period? Is this, okay, first of all, is this something you do on an everyday basis, or is this something you only do at certain intervals, maybe few times a month or something like that? Or is this something just like a daily
I made it
thing?
my lifestyle now.
Okay, so it's an everyday thing.
It is an everyday thing because it is not. As we get, age old, we don't need the same amount of food. You know what I mean? So then if you can eat any time you want, it is hard to control. So then having this kind of eating window really helps. Also, if you leave your body faster, that helps absorb your nutrition, burn your fat maybe, that gives a chance.
So intermittent fasting, is this something that you tried and found it to be working for yourself, or did somebody prescribe it to you? How did you come about that this is the right diet for you?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked, because there is so many information that's out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too confusing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, do you eat gut-friendly food, that food, this fasting?
Yeah. There's a research and there's a counter research for everything.
So the way I nobody advised me this is the path you need to go. The way I picked it is, okay, there was a period of time where I gained a lot of weight. I didn't even realize it. Suddenly one day I was looking at my picture. Is this me? it was a shocker, seriously. And I was like, okay, how did I get here? And then I was like, okay, what do I do now? Right? And ultimately, you need to be in food deficit, calorie deficit in order to reduce your weight, right? So then if I have to get to calorie deficit, then how much calorie do you need for your body? So you take your weight, multiply by 10, that's the calorie. Okay, now if I have to create a deficit, how much do I eat? Okay, now how much of that I have to eat from lunch to dinner? So that is how it started. So then only when I fast, then I can have the reduced window, right? That really helped. So that is how I started on the fasting. But I do need black coffee to sustain it in the morning. But that's my story. What about you?
For me, I think I'm similar to you. All of the diets that I tried were at the times when I wanted to lose weight, right? It was very weight focused. So I did like juice cleanse, calorie deficit, like the initial, in order to trigger that weight loss, you need to have like 2 or 3 weeks of a calorie deficit. And then what else did I do? I did this crazy detox diet once, which is like lunch is only tomatoes with salt and pepper, and I'm like, that's lunch at the office, and everybody, my co-workers are literally laughing at me. They're like, we are eating yummy food, you are eating tomatoes.
So you remind me of Steve Jobs. I read somewhere that Steve Jobs went on an all carrot diet at one point in his life, and then he started looking orange.
No, I was not looking red in any way. I was just looking red with anger.
Your cheeks more flushed here when you were on the all tomato diet.
Red with anger of, please somebody give me food. No, but I did it. I stuck with it. The juice cleanse, I think, was like, the first day I felt like all my demons are coming out from every angle or every opening in my body. It was horrible. But, those were not sustainable. Like, you're exactly right. Like, I needed something that would be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so I've now moved to, these are the things that I know I eat and I enjoy eating. And it includes the, morning I want to have my, antioxidants with my protein with it. Lunch I want to include something, have protein every meal. But I do still follow the things that I learned during my nutrition class during my pregnancy of eat every 4 to 6 hours, but have it like limited, like controlled portions, and make sure it's a fully balanced meal. But I don't snack, so I'm not a snacker.
Do you fast or?
So I was never into all of the keto diets and blah blah blah, but I did get tempted to try out intermittent fasting, and realized very soon it is not for me.
Hence all the questions.
Yes, that's why I'm curious. How are you making it work? Because I don't know. I've just found it hard to give up on food. So actually, I want to ask from you guys as well. So growing up, for us, the meals were always like 3 main meals during the day. Your breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
Skipping any of these meals counts as fasting.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the definition of fasting, and your daily lifestyle kind of I have adhered to. So when I heard about intermittent fasting, I interpreted that to mean that you give up one of the 3 main meals. You either give up your breakfast or you give up dinner, something like that. So you're essentially then surviving on 2 meals a day. And that is where my realization was that I cannot survive on just 2 meals. I have to have 3 meals. But what I do is, like my breakfast, I have altered that more consciously. So I try to have more protein-rich breakfast, more fruits and nuts in my breakfast, that sort of a thing. I also got tempted to go towards veganism. But then again, I realized given my relationship with food and the kind of food that I like, that will be a lot to give up on. Exactly. Yogurt is like superfood in my diet regimen.
I mean, that's a snack. That's an easy breakfast.
It's like protein, it's the calcium. So I realized I cannot live without yogurt.
Yeah.
So here I am, 3 meals a day, but trying to just incorporate just more protein and calcium as much as
I think it's clear both of us have very different ways of dealing with nutrition, right? Like she's fasting. I like believe in like smaller meals, but
So you, how many meals do you
so
eat
I do.
in a
I
day?
attempt at 4.
You attempt at 4
Yeah,
meals.
4 meals.
Okay.
So breakfast, lunch, mid-evening snack, and dinner.
So 4 meals for
4
you.
meals.
Okay.
So growing up, I was not a breakfast person. I will have like a coffee, a chai with milk. It's not like fasting, but I'll have that.
Yeah.
But it's not a breakfast as a food, full. But now I realized, given where I am, my age and the stage of life, it is important to have the morning protein, whatnot. So I do have the breakfast.
But I'm curious now, what are some of the challenges that you both are facing, either keeping up with your nutritional goals or struggles that you have either when you go out or you're at office and you're not getting the options you want, or you cannot cook on a trip. What are you guys doing then?
Overall, I think I'm in a good place now because I made it a lifestyle. It's not like, I don't eat rice like maybe once a week, but it's not like I miss rice. You know what I mean? Because it has become my lifestyle. Like I love my current diet, but the challenge is sticking to it when you travel. I do break it when people invite and whatnot. I don't want to be this person. I eat by 6 p.m. I cannot.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, very strict time or very strict diet, then it becomes a little bit challenging.
Yeah, but it's just that now I have to be more creative in order to get my protein because I'm a vegetarian. If at all challenge, that's the only challenge because you don't want to eat too much of tofu, too much of paneer. So what are various different protein sources I can incorporate in a way that it is not boring? You know what I mean? The moment it becomes boring, I'm not going to stick to my diet. So that is primarily.
There are people who can just survive on salads. I feel like I will get very cranky without any carbs.
Winter
like
comes,
salad is a side for me. Salad cannot be the main course ever.
I do love salads, but I cannot eat them in winter.
You don't.
In summer it is so good and refreshing, but in winter I'm craving for hot food, like hot soup.
You need soups.
Yeah, some sort of different. I cannot think of salad at the time.
What are your challenges?
I think so. Again, like for me, first of all, my diet is not that restrictive. My restriction is within the confines of being a vegetarian person. But these days, I think finding vegetarian food in general is relatively easy. It's changed significantly from few years ago when we migrated to USA, but these days you can find vegetarian food anywhere. There's one more quirk though. Actually, I also like my food cooked, so I cannot eat just like cold food. Like somebody gives you just uncooked bread and butter, I cannot survive on that. I don't find it fulfilling. So I need my food to be cooked food, warm food. That is one special requirement I have.
What about you?
I think my challenge is, I always get tripped up. Like you were saying earlier, I'm the trash can of the house. Yeah. I have, my pet peeve is leaving little bit of food. And somehow my family will always leave a little bit of food in the bowl. And I'm like, guys, come on. And I've already eaten my dinner or lunch. I've had my meal. And now I see this much that has to go in the fridge. I was like, no. And I don't want to waste it. So I'm the trash can of the family. I will eat that last bite. So that's why I like to, make sure that I only cook enough, or there's enough leftovers, or there's no leftovers. Nothing in the middle.
When you mentioned about your family leftovers and whatnot, I just remembered another challenge is, in order to stick to my nutrition goal and fitness, then my meal is separate from what I cook for family. So that is so another challenge. You know what I mean? My daughter is not on same meal, so then I've been making something yummy, something tempting for her, but then I cannot taste
that
this.
Is very interesting. We should definitely talk about that, but I think we need another episode dedicated to what we do, because we are also cooking for family.
Absolutely.
So how do we handle our own nutritional needs and goals with what we are presenting to our family. I think for today, let's wrap up here. So it's clear that we all have our goals when it comes to nutrition. And there is no one formula fits all. On top of it, given all the information that is out there, the research, the opinions, the trends, it can all feel very complicated. And, I do wonder about it at times, if what I'm doing is the right thing, or should I reassess, reevaluate what I'm doing. But then the bottom line is that when it comes to maybe nutritional goals, it's not about perfection. I think it's also important that we give ourselves flexibility. The main thing here is about, what gives you energy, what gives you recovery, what gives you long-time sustenance, when it comes to your health. And so maybe it's not about what shall we cut, it should be about what does my body need to do its job, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that note, it's time for our Chai Shots rapid fire section, where we answer questions fast, no thinking, no backtracking.
All right.
Let's do it. First question. If you could only eat one vegetable, which one would it be?
Man, that's hard.
I think it has to be aloo potato.
Asparagus.
Asparagus.
You survived asparagus.
All right,
that's nice. That's nice. Okay. One food you wish had 0 calories.
Oh, sweets.
Yeah, exactly. Desserts.
All kinds of sweets.
All the rasgullas and gulab jamuns.
Okay, now I have something where you have to tell me like either or. Okay, you want this or you want that. Sweet breakfast or savory breakfast?
Savory.
Savory.
Okay. Meal prep Sunday or wing it all week?
Bring it all week.
Prep.
Okay. Now I will always visit Deepa. I know there will be food in the house.
Give up sugar or give up fried food?
Fried food.
That is so hard. No, don't give up anything. Maybe give up fried food.
Okay. No giving up sugar for you. Okay, last question. The one food that you know is healthy for you, but you dislike and you don't want to eat it.
Salads in winter.
Salads in winter. I don't know. I feel like maybe egg. I think I can eat egg. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. So
Okay, so eggs for you.
Yeah,
I think that's the
eggs.
vegetarian in you that's talking.
yeah.
Okay, on that note, we wrap up our this week's Chai Shots, our spicy, short but chaotic segment, and I hope you enjoyed it.
And how do you approach nutrition? We would love to hear from you. So share with us.
Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Chai in the Bay. Please follow and subscribe. Together, let's keep the community growing.